we'd have to deal with vaccines coming from very many different parts of the world. The only thing that we could do and guarantee the safety of our people was to use the World Health Organization as a major approval organization for us. And at that time,
Point of order, Chair. Yes. Chairman, sorry. The minister, the former Minister of Health is not telling us the truth. There is no way the vaccine could have come to Kenya if it was not approved. That is the first thing. They had an approval from the Kenya Medical Practitioners Board, and it was even administered. 230,000 doses were administered. But it was politics which made it to go out. It was a private venture. Yes, they had everything, but the minister is not telling us, the former minister is not telling us the truth.
Are you not telling us the truth? Yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Hold there. Yes, Junet.
Chairman, I agree with the Honorable Dawood. The vaccine arrived in Kenya with the approval of the government, and it was administered to many people, including the current president. And what happened when the current president, who was the deputy president, took it, is when that regime stopped it. Let us be honest to each other. Yeah, let's be honest.
Mr. Chairman.
Did you play politics with the health of Kenyans?
Mr. Chairman, I want to repeat that the only approvals that we recognize as the National Executive Committee on Coronavirus was approvals that came from the World Health Organization.
If that was the case, just hold there. How did the vaccine get into Kenya and have it administered on Kenyans before you chased it away? Yes, including our then deputy president getting a jab of that vaccine.
Mr. Chairman, all I can say is that whether a vaccine has arrived in the country or not, no matter how it has arrived in the country or not, if it has not been approved by the World Health Organization, we cannot use it, and we did not use it. I think I rest my case.
So are you telling us that it had, by the time it arrived and it was administered to 230,000 people, it had not yet received approval from World Health Organization?
Absolutely not. And I think, Mr. Speaker, I do not recall the actual figures that it had been administered to. I cannot remember now what figure, but I don't think it was anywhere near, the kind of figure that you had said. Suffice it to say, Mr. Chairman, that the decision that was made at the time by the National Emergency Response Committee and the Ministry of Health was that we will not and we would not in the future use any vaccine that had not been internationally approved by the World Health Organization.
And you are the chairman of that committee?
And I was the chairman.
Yes.
And I take responsibility. And we agreed, Mr. Chairman, we agreed, even at that point, as I remember, we agreed that if the vaccine could get World Health Organization approval, we would use it.
What Dawood has put to you is that you made an irrational decision based on political consideration.
Mr.
Chairman, I just want to ask him what Honorable Junet has said. The Deputy President at that time and the President right now, who has nominated you today, is the one who took that jab, is when you stopped the Sputnik. Is that true or not true?
Absolutely not true.
Point of order, Chair. Chair, when that, Chairman, when we were taking the vaccines,
yes,
there were many vaccines. There was AstraZeneca, there was this one and others.
Pfizer,
Johnson & Johnson. Chairman, we were in the country here. At that time, people were really looking for vaccines to use.
Desperately.
The day the current president, who was then the deputy president, got a jab in the afternoon, in the evening, a press statement came out saying that thing is banned in our country. That's the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the matter.
Mr. Chairman, I cannot recall the events as they followed, if indeed that is the way they followed. But I repeat my position. We could only use a vaccine approved by the World Health Organization.
Go on with the others. I'm sure You know,
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, the issue of mitigating circumstances, I think that were raised by Mishi, the issue of what do we do when there are droughts and then there is flooding that happens. I'll come back to the others as well. You know, I agree with her that, Honorable Chairman, that the issue of drought mitigation is critical. And it has been there a long time. We all know about Budalangi, and we know other areas in the coast. And season after season, the discussion is the same. And what I would like to commit myself to, Mr. Chairman, is working with the ministries involved. As you are aware, the Ministry of Irrigation, the Ministry of Water is charged with the dam, the areas of matters to do with the damming. But I also want to involve the county governments in this matter. Because the issue of acceptability, for example, the involvement of the county governments with the extension farmers, because in Schedule 4, extension farmers that Honorable Emase raised, extension farmers are actually the job of the county government. My job is to ensure that we fight this fight in terms of training, in terms of budgeting and funding, so that we have got these people. And I would like to refer to the matter that you referred, which you say that this house is the one that allocates budgets, and to say that in spite of that, we can also predicate some of these things on what Honorable Naisura had raised on the issue of donors. This is one of the areas that we could try very hard to work with our funders and with our donors in terms of the extension farmers, so that in mitigating the issues that have been raised, the conditions and challenges that Honorable Michi has raised, ensuring that we have got the proper crops to use during drought, ensuring that we have got the correct livestock to use, ensuring that diseases don't start affecting our livestock just because there was flooding, going on. I think that is a job that will ably be done by extension people. I think they are as crucial as Mheshimiwa Wanyonyi had raised. And I'm going to work very hard with the county governments to ensure that extension farmers, but also working concurrently with the ministries involved in dam building, such as Ministry of Water and Irrigation. And I think that, Mr. Chairman, the other involvement is also the committees of parliament. The committees of parliament on agriculture, the committees of parliament on health, on water and cooperatives. I think sometimes it is also good for us to have discussions together with them. And I propose to also engage them so that we can discuss budgeting and budget allocations also here, together obviously with the budget committee. Mr. Chairman, yes, Honorable Michi spoke about the job, the aspect of job creation in agriculture. And I think that sometimes we also miss opportunities of job creation in agriculture. For example, we are talking about fertilizer subsidies. And we have got companies in this country that can actually make fertilizers. Away from the coast, there are some companies in the coast. And it is true that if we structure the subsidies properly, it is possible that these companies that make fertilizers can be funded or can be part of the subsidy movement so that they too can create jobs. I think whatever we do, at whatever time we do it, we need to ensure that any opportunity to create a job is not lost, because part of the challenge we are having with our youth is actually that job aspect of job creation. And I think I alluded to the issue of disease, disease management. Again, research on these issues is going to assist us a lot on disease management. But I think that it is better to use preventive measures, ensuring that the diseases don't occur in the first place, rather than curative measures that we have got to deal with after the event has taken place. On the issue of sugar and the sugar bill, yes, I'm aware that the sugar bill has gone through. And I'm also aware that we produced this year, a large quantity, in perhaps the highest quantity, a large quantity of sugar, which actually might save us from importing sugar this year. And I think that is a fantastic development, but it must not be at the cost of the farmer. It cannot be at the cost of the farmer, because I think we should understand that the subsidy to the farmer is not a subsidy to the farmer per se. It is only a subsidy to the farmer directly. It is indirectly a subsidy to the consumer, because it is the
Sugar Act nominee is awaiting if you are approved to promulgate the regulations
I'm aware of that, Mr. Chairman.
that you are now delving into.
Yes, I'm aware of that, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
And that's what I alluded to. And I think that the regulations will be done in the fastest possible time.
That's what we'll deal with, what Mary Massey is talking about. Yes,
Chairman, he's
Sharia,
not answered-
PPPs.
He's not even answered my cartels and fake fertilizer.
Mr. Chairman, on the issue of the PPP, I'll come back to Mira. On the issue of the PPP, Mr. Chairman, usually the problem is not the private players in the game. Usually, the problem in trying to craft a private-public partnership, in my opinion, lies, the fault lies with the public sector, not the private sector. The private sector has got a number of things that they normally demand if they are going to put their money anywhere. One of them is very quick decisions. They want us to make this decision about their investment quickly. In the past, I think we should own up as government that we have created so much bureaucracy around the issue of PPP that a person starting the PPP process usually at some point just gives up and goes. I think that one of the entry points for us is to reduce the bureaucracy as much as we can, particularly in the agricultural sector. There are people who express interests to come and lease land and grow, say, for example, rice, all right? And we put roadblocks to them, and we put so many conditions to them that eventually, by the end of the day, they say, if I go to Rwanda, I'll get free land and start this job tomorrow. And they leave. So we are losing a lot of investments, you know, because of our own bureaucracy and the conditionalities that we are using, that we are putting on the private sector people. Conditions that sometimes are official conditions, and conditions sometimes which are suspect. So I agree with you that we must fight more, we must reduce our bureaucracy, and we must be more willing. It should be an objective to bring the people in. It should be our objective to fight for investments to come in, not to put roadblocks for the investors. On the issue of the cartels, as Honorable Dawood raised, and what you are referring to, I think, Honorable Member, is a criminal issue. It's not a policy issue. You are referring to a criminal activity that is clearly going on someplace. You said at the airport, that is clearly going on at JKIA. And I think this is the only thing we can, you and I, is to bring this thing to the attention of investigators. I will do my part in terms of prosecuting that issue and ensuring that through AFA, through the organizations that are in the Ministry of Agriculture, I will ensure and fight to make sure that we unravel any of those practices that might be going on. But clearly, Mr. Chairman, what we are discussing here is a criminal activity and a criminal gang that is operating at JKIA, and it should be referred, in fact, to the police and investigating arms of the government. And I can tell you that that is not something that we are going to just stand by and watch the Mira farmers, you know, get punished for nothing.
Okay. Yes, Junet?
Mr. Speaker, just still on the issue of sugar. But Honorable Nominee, you can see there's a problem in the sugar industry. And stories after stories have been happening for many years, how the sugar sector will be revived. But there's a program the government has started, and they have done well now, I can see, in Mumias, the leasing program.